Hello, this is a video on how to play the card game Switch. Now keep in mind, the objective in Switch is to be the first player to get rid of all your cards. With that being the objective, it's quite similar to Uno. And it basically is the card game Uno, but it's played with a normal deck. And so why do I suggest playing Switch? Number one, you may not have a Uno deck. And number two, almost everybody has a standard 52 card deck, and so it's quite easy to play substitute for Uno whenever you are, I guess, at a gathering of some sorts. And so, in terms of the basic rules, right, you can play from anywhere between 2 to 4 players. Each player is dealt 7 cards at the start of the game, and so 7 cards, 1 card at a time. And so, as you can see, each player is dealt 7 cards. And so we'll talk about what just happened there. But the objective is to get rid of all of your cards by putting them onto this discard pile here. You can put down a card if it has the same suit or rank as the top card of the discard pile. And so if the card of the pile is a 2 of diamonds, then we can play any diamond or any 2. So if it's either the same number / rank or the same suit, then it can be played. If you have no cards you can play, then you must draw 1 card from the stockpile. In this case, what we'll do is we don't have a diamond, but we do have a 2. So what we can do is we can play a 2. And so let's just talk about some of the bonuses here. Do note that if you have 2 or more cards of the same rank, you can play them together. And so if the card on top of the pile is a diamond and you have a 4 of diamonds and a 4 of spades, then you can play them together. And then that's essentially it, right? And so if there was a king, if we had multiple kings, we could play them together on here. So you match the card in the discard pile by rank or by suit. If you have multiple cards of the same rank and you are able to play them, then you can play all of them on the you can play them together on the discard pile. There are special cards, and so if a player plays a 2, the next player must draw 2 cards and cannot play any cards unless the next player also has a 2 as well, in which case they can play and the next player must draw 4 cards. This can go on as long as players have 2s, and it increases by 2 each time. So if 3 players have played 2s in a row, then the 4th player must pick up 6 cards. And so it's like the +2 card in Uno. Also note that if you have a 7, it's known as dumping the suit. And so all other cards in the same suit as a 7 may be played in the same turn. And so you do this by first playing the 7, and then you play every other card of the same suit. And so let's just keep playing until we run into that. You already saw the 2, and so now let's demonstrate the 7. Note that this is a king of spades, and so I could either play any spade or I could play any king. What I'll do is I'll play a 10 here, and this is actually going to reverse it to Lisa, and we'll talk about the reverse there. What I'll do now is I'll play a 10 again. It'll reverse it back to Lisa. So now notice what Lisa did. Okay, a lot just went on right there, and I apologize. But notice what Lisa did there. She played the 7, that of clubs, and that allowed her to play every other card of that suit. And so I'm not going to really focus on anybody else. I demonstrated the 2. If you see any other special cards being played, you can notice them, but I'm just going to really focus on myself. I'm just going to really focus on my own gameplay, and we are going to keep playing until I get a 7. And so as you can see, the games are quite quick. But what we're looking for here is a 7, and beautiful. And so I can demonstrate this with the 7 of spades if provided the opportunity. Unfortunately, I was not able to play the 7 of spades. Are you kidding me? Okay. This is a club. Do note that if you have a card you are not forced to play, you can still choose to draw a card from the deck. And so now this is what we'll do. If you have a 7, first you can play the 7, and then you can play all of the cards of the same suit. So we'll play our 7 here, and then we can also play all of our hearts, like so. Right? And so now you saw these 7 being demonstrated. So what's the objective of Uno? The objective of Switch, which is like Uno. The objective of Switch is to match the card in the discard pile by either playing a card of the same rank, so we could play a 4 here of any rank, or by playing a card of the same suit. So here we could play any heart, or we could play a 10. Cards have special abilities. Note that even if you have a card that can be played, you are not required to play it, and so you can choose to draw from the stockpile if you wish. The first player to get rid of all their cards wins. So it's quite simple, and now all we have left to do is go through the power-ups, which we are doing. The 2s force the player next to you to draw 2 cards, unless they also have a 2, in which case they keep stacking until one player eventually does not have a 2. The 7 allows you to play all the cards of your suit, but you are not forced to. So I think you can sort of read here that an 8 means skip turn, but we'll still try to play it here, just for the sake of it, to demonstrate. I mean, I didn't have any hearts there. Remember, if cards are also one more thing, if cards are of the same rank and you are able to play them. So example, if I had 2 kings here, I could play both of the kings on here. Likewise, if I had 2 8s here, right, I could also play any spade on here. And so if I had 2 5s of spades, I could also play both of them. If a card can be played, any cards of that matching rank can also be played, just as a gist. So we'll play our 8 of spades, and now Lisa will skip her turn. And so now we demonstrated what the 8 does, and so now we'll demonstrate the 10, even though it's already really been shown. Right there, right, the reverse card, and so Lisa played a 10, it reverses back to Bill. And so that demonstrates the reverse card, and now we'll demonstrate some more special cards here. Let's talk about the blackjack. And so we are going to actually, what I'm going to do here is I'm going to keep playing until the blackjack comes, and then I will be right. Actually, we'll keep it going just so you can sort of see how it's being played. But this could take a while. And so notice how Bill played all the cards of matching rank there. And so do note that if a blackjack is played, the next player must draw 5 cards. It's like a +5. Blackjacks can be stacked, and then that means as long as you keep stacking blackjacks, then the next player must draw. And so if 2 blackjacks are played, then instead of a +5, the next player will then have to play a +10. Note that there are only ever 2 blackjacks in a 52 card deck, and so at max you could have a +10. But while singular blackjack, right? So the jack of spades and the jack of clubs, either or, are your, I guess, your special cards that allow for the playing of +5. Do note that, like I said, if a card can be played, you can also play any other cards of the matching rank. And here we have a 6 of hearts. So we could either play 6 or we could play any hearts. We have a 4 of hearts, so I'm going to play my 4 of hearts, but any cards can be played of a matching rank. And so I not only can I play my 4 of hearts, I can also play my 4 of diamonds. Note that you have to play the matching suit card first before playing the other card. And so essentially, notice how you play the card that you originally would. And so I play the 4 of hearts there, and then I stack the 4 of diamonds on top. That also changes the suit to diamonds. And so you play any cards you originally would, stacking any matching cards of a matching rank on top. And so this is perfect. This is really perfect for what I hoped to demonstrate here. And so if a blackjack is played, right, and so when a player plays a blackjack, the next player must draw 5 cards. Two blackjacks can be played together if I also have a blackjack, and in which case the player after me would then draw 10 cards. Furthermore, if a singular player had both blackjacks, they could play both of them at the same time, right? Because if one card can be played, then any card of the matching rank can be played, and so if at the same time, and so if one player had a jack of clubs, but they also had the jack of spades, well, the jack of spades is of matching rank, thus it can also be played at the same time. So what we'll do here is we'll play this jack of spades, demonstrating that it is indeed a plus 10 for Mike. And so that demonstrates the blackjack. I think what I'll do now is I'll sort of an ace allows you to change suit, right? And so that will also demonstrate the ace. You can essentially, I don't think I can actually play here, can I? Oh, no, I should be able to. And so an ace can be played no matter what suit is on the table. And when a player plays an ace, they get to decide what suit the table changes to. And so I'm going to change to clubs. Reason being, I also have a club. And so an ace can be played at any time, and it allows you to change the suit. I got rid of all my cards, and so I won. So that demonstrates the ace. Now all that's left is the red jack and the black queen. And so I have the red jack here, but I also have the black jack. And so essentially the red jack cancels out a black jack. And so if player 1 played a blackjack, then player 2 can play a red jack, and then player 2 doesn't have to draw 5 cards. So it essentially nullifies the drawing of 5 cards. If player 1 played 2 blackjacks, then player 2 can either play 1 red jack and draw 5 cards, or play 2 red jacks and draw no cards. So every red jack cancels out you having to draw 5 cards. The red jack is only effective against a blackjack. You can also play it just like any other card, but it won't have any special effect. And so if you play a red jack after a blackjack has been played, then it nullifies the drawing of 5 cards. However, if you play it normally, then it's just like any other card. Do note that if 2 blackjacks are played and it's your turn to draw 10 cards, then if you play a red jack, it will only nullify 5 of the cards, meaning you still have to draw 5 more cards. Essentially, a red jack can nullify a blackjack, nullifying 5 of the cards that you have to draw. And now let's just play until we get a black queen. And so what I'll do is I'll actually I'll just keep dealing here until I get a black queen. This might take a while, and so if it does, I will pause, and then we will be back here. So yeah, I'll pause and then I'll be right back. Okay, after a lot of trial and error, we finally obtained a black queen, and so I will play this game out normally until, of course, we are given the opportunity to play the black queen. And so now we can play the black queen. And so what the black queen does is the black queen allows you to change hands. And so if you play the black queen, the player to your left changes hands with you. And it's a good idea to play the black queen if the player to your left has less cards than you. In this case, I have 5 cards and Mike has 4. After playing the black queen, I'm going to have take Mike's hand. And so that is a hand of 6 cards, while I only have 5. And so it's not really a good idea here. You want to play the black queen when the player to your left barely has any cards, as it allows you to gain a massive advantage in the game. But for the sake of the video, we'll show it. And so me and Mike just switched hands there. And so that sort of wraps up how to play Switch. Remember, it's you play a card if it is of the matching suit or if it is of the matching rank. If a card can be played, then all other cards of the matching rank can also be played. Right? Just keep that as a standard rule. And so here we can play a 3 of clubs. Why? Because there is a club here. Since we can play the 3 of clubs, we can also play all other matching cards of the same rank, so all other 3s. And then you also have your standard rules. 2s force the player next to you to either play a 2 or draw 2 cards. They keep stacking until one player doesn't have a 2 to play, in which case they must draw the total sum of the 2s before them. 7 allows you to dump all cards of the suit of the 7. Ace skips the next player's turn. 10 reverses the direction of play. In terms of the black jack, it forces the player next to you to draw 5 cards. The red jack cancels the black jack's drawing. The black queen forces you to switch hands with the player to your left. And the ace forces you to change suit, and it can be played at any time. And you get to choose which suit to change to. Note that if you play a red jack not on top of a black jack, then it plays as a normal card because its only effect is to cancel the +5 of the black jack. So that wraps up how to play Switch. It's a fun alternative to Uno, and it's better because you don't need a specific Uno deck, and it can be played with a deck of cards, which almost everyone has, and so, or which almost, I mean, you can find lying around really anywhere. And so that really wraps up how to play Switch, and I hope you enjoyed this fun card game. Thank you for watching.